Powered by Riverside.
It's the Dynasty front office, and we are building you championships one trade at a time.
I'm your host, Mike Casper, and I'm joined here by the three best friends anyone could ask for. Or have. I don't know. I can't even read anymore. The awesome Austin Bell. How are you doing?
Oh, dude, I'm good, man. I love being awesome. I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. I'm so excited to actually be doing an episode where I don't have to do any prep work, and I just get to listen to you guys disagree with each other. So, yeah, I'm excited. All right, Jesse, the Joint Schneeman, how you doing?
The joint. I like that. I'm great. Welcome to my world, Michael.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to be here. Excited. And my number two, Chad Mendoza, how you doing?
Good, man. Were we supposed to do prep work for this?
Yeah, something like that. Something like that. All right. Well,
on cue, Chad.
Jesse, why don't you do my job and tell the people what we're doing this week?
All right, guys. Catch us offline on Discord. That's the most important place to hang out with us. We talk trades, we talk Dynasty, we talk strategy, we talk life, we talk food. The food channel has been popping. Everybody posting delicious pictures. The holidays are coming up, so I can't wait to look at that. So get in the Discord. It's always posted in the show notes. It's free. I don't know why you wouldn't. And then the other thing we'd like you to do is subscribe on YouTube. If you're listening or watching to us on YouTube, please subscribe if you like what you're listening to or watching. And if you're listening to us on podcast, please auto download, leave us a review. If you really like us, 5 stars would be wonderful. But just get the word out for us, guys. You know, we're a new podcast, and all that we could use all the help we can get. On tonight's episode, we have the trade banger of the week, as always. Devi edition this time. We have a 2026 one-round rookie mock draft. Way too early, but we're going to have a little holiday fun, Thanksgiving edition. And then a little pop culture fun, as always.
All right, Chad, take it away with our trade banger, looking at some rookies.
All right, this is the trade banger of the week, the one deal that's too good, too bad, or just too wild not to talk about. If you got a trade that shook up your league, send it our way. It just might be next week's banger. All right, let's get into it. So for this week's trade banger, we're staying on theme with the 2026 rookie mock and looking at a Devi Dynasty trade. You know, it is a Devi trade, but we're going to approach it a little differently. We're going to leave the Devi things out of this because we don't really do that here, and just talk about them as if they're picks. Maybe get into the players a little bit, but save the bulk of it for the actual conversation on the first round mock we're doing a little bit later. So on one side we've got Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's an actual real life elite wide receiver who scores points today, which is nice. Plus we got Rico Dowdle, who also scores points and exists. He's a decent player. Yeah. On the other side, you got Carnell Tate, Nick Singleton, and Kenyon Sadiq. 3 players who could be future stars, or they might help you tank the next couple of years. Who knows? Yeah, interesting trade. 3 guys, maybe 2 guys locked for the first round. Maybe 1 guy a little kind of borderline there. But first question I got for Austin here is Carnell Tate, right?
Chad, I think you're going in and out, and I think Chad froze up a little bit there.
Frozen up.
So going back to the trade, guys. So we got Amon-Ra and Rico. That's what the names our listeners will know. Kind of, I guess, what is their cost? I guess you could say, right? And where do we think some of these guys and the other receivers are, and kind of what they're worth?
You want me to go or you, Jesse?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay.
So Carnell Tate's going to be a probably universal top 3 receiver in this coming class. Somebody's 1, somebody's 2, and somebody's 3, depending on who you ask. He's definitely shooting up people's boards with the way he's producing this year. So let's view him as let's pick 103 to 104 currently in this class, or maybe 105, something like that. Kenyon Sadiq's going to be the top tight end. So currently a mid to late first. And then Nick Singleton's going to be that borderline 1-2 first round, second round, depending on draft capital and everything. So let's just call him an early second for this trade's sake. So we've got a early mid first, a mid to late first, and an early second for Amon-Ra and Rico. Does that feel about right? Is it something you're wanting to do? What do you think?
Well, I look at it like this. Can I replace the players I'm giving up with the players that I'm getting? There's a reasonable chance that, a mid first is better than Rico Dowdle going forward. That's probably a given. I don't know. What did you say Sadiq was, like a mid second?
No, he's going to be a mid to late first. He's definitely going to be a
I
first
know
round.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
He could be a top 10 pick.
Oh, it was Singleton
draft.
that you were saying. Singleton
yeah.
could fall into the second.
Correct.
For sure.
Yeah.
He has not been all that great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's a little light, to be perfectly honest. Just because the star player Amon-Ra, just given the uncertainty, and then we'll say just if they're picks, if it's 3 firsts, just the uncertainty of it, I guess, really kind of makes me a little nervous. But then if you talk about the fact that there are players that you're getting, it's sort of locked in as far as like how, Carnell Tate is going to be like a mid first, right? So that's sort of like locked in value. So
Yeah, it felt really interesting.
yeah, it is. It definitely is. It's, I guess, welcome back, Chad. But Chad was saying we don't really want to talk about the players themselves. But when
you can talk about him a little bit, but just not too deep. We'll...
Okay. A lot of it comes down to the ceiling of Tate for me in this trade.
I mean, and Sadiq, to be honest. And
Sadiq,
yeah.
You're right.
Sadiq could be the most valuable piece in this entire trade come the end of next year. I mean, look at Tyler Warren. Sadiq if he goes to the right offense, is going to be a central point of an offense similar to Warren. So I do think that's not a light piece to be added in this trade. So, if you say they're 2 mid first, I mean, I think that's relatively the price point of Amon-Ra. It's probably a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, to me, it's definitely interesting. Like by the time the hype comes in April, I mean, if Sadiq tests well enough and the buzz is right, I mean, he could be a top 4 or 5 pick in this class, because there aren't, outside of, we'll get there, but outside of a specific running back, there's really no one that I think is a smash in this class, just an absolute smash. So, I mean, there's no reason, if Sadiq tests well and gets to draft capital at the right landing spot, we could see him be talked about as an early first when that time comes, because I think he's going to test really well. And so it could be, it could be exactly what you're looking for if you're moving off of Amon-Ra going into a rebuild.
For me, the only guy here that I don't think is going to probably end up in the mid range is Nick Singleton, right? I think he's probably going to end up somewhere early second, maybe sneak into the late first for some people.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kenyon Sadiq and Carnell Tate both have the ceilings to end up, and by ceilings I just mean as far as their rookie value goes during draft season. They do have the potential to be early first round picks, essentially.
Yeah, I agree. So that's kind of, I guess that would be the price point for Amon-Ra for me.
Okay. You guys have kind of sold me on that.
And then Rico for Singleton is kind of how I would look at that. You're kind of reshuffling your deck if you're not as a contender, and you're taking a shot on a guy that coming out of high school had an insane bulletin board of special stuff, and outside of his freshman year hasn't really done it.
I think, I still think I think getting Singleton for Dowdle is a really nice return.
Yeah.
If you look at it that way.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of kind of what I was talking about earlier. Would you rather it be locked into these two top tier prospects, or would you rather just it be a random first?
Well, those are two completely different things.
Well, not random first, or a mid first that could either raise a couple spots or go down a couple spots. That's a little more volatile.
Well, I mean, I'm viewing Tate as a top 6 lock. So if you're telling me that first is a top 6 lock and the other first is a top, for me, probably really 6 or 7 lock as well, then yeah, I mean, that's pretty interesting, because even if one of these guys, knock on wood, gets hurt, I'm still going to feel good about that tier of player in that range.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, philosophically, would you rather have the player or the pick?
The pick. It's the only
pick
asset
always,
in Dynasty that becomes more valuable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's always going to be the pick. But with that being said, Carnell Tate for me is I think he's the second best wide receiver in the class. I love his game. I can't wait to see where he ends up. But I think it's going to be earlier than some people are anticipating as far as rookie Dynasty drafts by the end of the season.
And this is a wide receiver class.
Yeah.
This is a wide receiver draft.
For sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
I was going to say, I think that just the one thing to say about picks is sometimes I feel like I do get worried where the pick is if you wait too long and the tiers become very clear post-draft.
Yeah, that is true.
That is where picks can lose value, right? So certain picks. So just something to keep in mind. If you're thinking about doing that, don't wait too late, and maybe start when the hype and the combine and stuff is going on might be where it's at its highest. A mid to late might be at its highest, as opposed to after the NFL draft when it becomes more clear. Could be good, could be bad. It's just a risk you kind of take.
Yeah, absolutely. And for this class specifically, as we get further down that first round, it currently feels pretty to me.
Okay, yeah, no, that's good. We're gonna hit that when we get into our mock. So, Chad, anything else for our trade banger?
No, I think we're good.
Sweet. Let's get into it. Transition us, Jesse. No. He's looking at me. All right. So we're going to call the rookie sneak peek here. All right. So just some general questions. I don't know half of these guys. So we're going to do a 1-round mock draft. All right. We're going to go, Jesse's going to pick, then Chad, then Austin, and then we're just going to rotate between those two. You're not like building a team or anything like that. It's just best player you think you'd pick there right now. Just some things to keep in mind. I asked, like, when you make your picks, if you think this is a big tier break, something like that, just kind of let us know and maybe explain why. Disagree if you do. What do you guys think about the QB class when we get to talking about QBs? And then just for context of stupid people like me, how do certain positions or players or things like that kind of compare to other classes? So with that, Jesse, you have the 101 of the 2026 rookie NFL draft. Who are you taking?
All right, let's start out fire. I'm not going to go chalk. I am not going to go consensus. I'm going to go wide receiver, Arizona Sun Devils, Jordan Tyson. As a former Sun Devil, one of our great listeners, Deanna Raff, will appreciate this as well. Man, I just love this guy. His game is amazing. He's 6'3" and moves so smooth. He reminds me of a big JSN. So the hands are awesome. The route running, the separation. He's a very polished guy. Just really like Jordan Tyson. No problem taking him 101.
We messed up already, fellas. I brought up there was just one clear prospect and we didn't get it. That being said, Tyson is really interesting. He did what we want to see a lot in college, which is produce as a freshman. Colorado, he had almost 500 yards and 5 touchdowns. So we do want to see that. He did have a big injury at the end of the season, missed pretty much his entire 23 season, but came back in 24 with 1,100 yards and on pace again to do it again. So, I mean, everything Jesse said about him's right. He could legit be a top 10 pick in this class. So can't really go wrong at the 101 taking a top 10 pick as a receiver.
Yeah, dominator score and early breakout score. Very high for him.
So is it as crazy as like if you drafted someone over Genty in the last class? Do you think, Chad or Austin, or
By April, I think we're probably going to feel that way. The Jeremiah Love hype is going to get crazy. Teaser for the 102. It's going to get insane from what he's done this year. It's just going to keep going crazy, and he did it last year as well.
all right, Jesse, ideal landing spot, just to throw it out there and just to have some fun with it. Where do you want to see him go? Where
Just
teams are
off the
picking
top
early?
of my head,
You can't go to
who
Philly.
needs a running back?
No, Tyson.
Or I mean, who? Oh, sorry. We were just talking about Love.
All right, well, we'll move to 102.
No, Tyson, I think would be really good in, let's say, Miami.
Okay.
I just want or we'll say actually, I'm sorry, New England. New England would be a perfect fit with Drake May.
I ain't gonna be picking anywhere there, but okay.
No, that would be sick.
That
Though.
would be good.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I mean,
they're gonna have to do. They're gonna have
just
to do
off
a
the top
crazy
of my
trade.
head, I don't know. I haven't
to
really
get up
looked
there,
at
but-
landing spots.
The Browns, right? No, all right. Well, maybe I won't ask that anymore. Anything else on Tyson, you guys?
Chad, what do you mean? You hadn't said anything. What you got for him? I know
Yeah, what do you think about
you're
Tyson?
pretty excited about him.
Yeah, no, I like Tyson. He's my number one wide receiver. I don't have him ahead of Love, but at the same time, I'm not gonna really beat Jesse over the head for it. He's a nuanced player, right? He's got a lot to his game. He runs really intelligent routes, gets open, great separation, high points balls. Like he's a complete player. The one downside to him, if you're going to be really nitpicky, is that he doesn't really have that long speed. Compared to some other really, really high end prospects. We're talking about like the Waddles and Jameson Williams and even like Garrett Wilson, those kind of players. He doesn't have that kind of long speed, at least from what I've seen when I've watched him.
Yeah.
But he's still just a really, really good football player, really developed.
Yeah, I think we see like a mid 4.5s for him, which for what he is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Austin, take us with the 102.
I'm gonna let Chad do this one.
That's good. You should do that. Yeah, Chad. Who you taking at the
my
102? Yeah.
I've got Jeremiah Love. Pretty easy here. Jeremiah Love is not just the best running back in the class, arguably one of the top 5 players in the class. Regardless of position, he's just good at everything. Right? He's one of those rare elite backs that can do whatever you want from him. Explosive, can run guys over. He's always falling forward. He doesn't fumble the football. It's just everything you want a running back to do, want a running back to be. He is that guy. He's going to be an elite running back in the NFL.
Yeah. One of my favorite things is he's a state champ at the 100-meter dash in high school.
Yeah.
Ran a 10.76, which his coaches said he's ran a 10.54 before. So, I mean, that's zooming. So that's really exciting. Had a crazy long jump in high school too of over 22 feet. So, freak athlete, and is 6 foot, roughly 210 to 220. So he's got the size as well. It's pretty exciting. I mean, he's just dominated college really the past 2 seasons. Even with Genty, what he did last year. I mean, Jeremiah Love was phenomenal last year.
Yeah. Yeah, the one critique that I do have of him, and this is like the most nitpicky critique of all time, but he just opens himself up to hits that he doesn't have to take, and it's one of those things where I think at the next level it could be a little dangerous, but hopefully that some of that gets coached out of him where he's just willing to not give up on a play sometime, but maybe protect himself a little bit more.
Yeah, seems fair. Jesse?
I'm up.
No, what do you think about Jeremiah Love?
Oh,
I know you just completed a trade, Jesse, so I got it. You're good.
I love Love. I do love Love.
I love
Nothing
Love.
against him by taking Tyson first. I just kind of wanted to make things spicy. When all said and done, like I'm not planting a flag on this call. I will probably have Jeremiah Love 101. He's all the things you said. I agree. He's an amazing player. So if you want to compare him to Genty, Mike, I would probably take Genty. I think the receiving skills and
okay,
good to know. He's still an elite tier player. I would take him over Hampton. I'll put it that if you want to put it there.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I think he's lower than the other premier elite running back prospects that we've had, like Genty, Bijan, Gibbs. Like I think he's lower than all those guys, but not.
What
by
about
a lot.
Brees? When Brees came out,
Brees is a good. Yeah, Brees is a good.
Yeah, that's kind of where I would view him at.
Brees, Brees was a
tier.
Pretty high level prospect. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. What about like JT? You think that's the same as Brees?
JT was a better prospect.
Really?
Yeah, JT was a much better prospect than Brees. Even it's just it kind of died down in the dynasty community at the last minute just because of the CEH landing spot with the Chiefs. But JT as a prospect was, I mean, he's a pretty elite prospect.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Brees. I think the receiving skills were probably a little overrated, and he just hasn't been able to.
He's on the Jets
himself on that team.
Yeah, not really much he can do there.
And then he got hurt right away. And anyway,
but yeah, it'll be fun to see what he does. Like I said, I don't think he's crazy, crazy amount lower than those guys, but he's right there.
Yeah, I think he's going to get the draft capital too.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's going to be probably a top 15 lock at this point.
Especially because he's just so much better than all the other guys.
Yeah,
there's nobody close.
Yeah, we're going to draft some more guys as we go, but I'll be honest that I honestly don't feel comfortable putting any other running back in the round one currently.
Really?
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. I have one. I actually have two, so we'll talk about it later.
Cool. Yeah, I think you drafted them both.
Yeah.
Well, before we get to Austin with 103, I have to shout out one of my former cadets, Lieutenant Barrera. He just asked if I could Uber him because their sorority bus broke down for a party that they're at. So I said no, but I promised I'd shout him out. So if he's still there by the time this is over, that's where I'm going to pick him up and save the day. But all right, Austin, take us away with the 103.
Are you going to charge him?
Yes. He's making lieutenant pay. Come on, man. He's a lieutenant now. He's not a cadet anymore.
All right, so 103, I took my current top quarterback, I guess. I don't really love...
I guess you really love this pick.
Not really, but I felt like he's going to get top 5 capital, and you kind of just have to take him here, and that's Fernando Mendoza from Indiana. He's had a great season so far. I just don't know if I trust him. It's kind of the problem. I don't know. I don't have a lot to say. I mean, he's looked good. Like, he's fun to watch. But I just don't know if it's going to transfer to the next level. And really, this class in general, I'm not thrilled for the quarterbacks. But if they get the capital, you take them in a super flex draft, and you hope you get, what we've seen many years, time and time again.
Okay. Yeah, I like Mendoza because McShay likes him. So the cards on the table when it comes to quarterbacks, especially like college quarterback evaluation, is really, really difficult even for the experts. So I like to find some guys that I really trust and start there. I do my own evaluation, but I like Mendoza. I think he's got a lot to offer. He's going to need a lot of refinement. So landing spot, coaching, a situation where he can be given time to learn and not thrown into the fire. All these things are going to be really important for Mendoza. But he's a super flex quarterback, and he's got all the tools, so I'm very comfortable with taking him where he did.
Yeah. The problem is his top 4 likely landing spots are Cleveland, New Orleans, the Jets, and Vegas.
What's wrong with New Orleans?
I mean, I guess that's better than the others because Shuck can start week 1, but that doesn't mean they're going to end up to be able to draft him. So
I think New Orleans is a really good landing spot for any quarterback. I think Kellen Moore's got an excellent system. He's got some pretty good weapons. They need to work on that line, but and like you said, you've got Shuck and potentially Rattler there just to keep the pressure off of him.
I actually disagree with you guys. I don't. He's the one quarterback for me that if he's in a bad situation, I trust him more than the other guys. I mean, even at Cal, he took he took a beating at Cal, and man, he's a tough player. Like he just
He
keeps
is tough.
going. He keeps going. He doesn't
He is a bulldog.
Yeah, he's a gamer.
Hoosier.
I like him. I like him a lot. I think he's one of those players that if he's able to kind of fill out his frame a little more and look like an NFL quarterback, I think he can do the easy things, the quote unquote easy things, really, really well. It's just going to be, he's never going to be that kind of game changing highlight reel quarterback, but that's okay. I don't think every team needs that. I think he's a good player.
I was going to say, I actually do know some of the quarterbacks more than anybody else, I feel like, in this class, and I wasn't really excited. But if there's anything that can make my excitement kind of go up, it's that the Rams have the Falcons pick, which is currently 8. And you could definitely see them getting one of these guys, even if they have to trade up a spot. Or I don't think they have to trade anything crazy to get a quarterback right now, as it is, to get any of these quarterbacks. But if they get the heir to Matthew Stafford, I could see that really shaking things up in
Mendoza
rookie draft.
with McVay would be awesome.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. So okay.
And he does have mobility. I don't
there.
think we brought that up. He's rushing for over 200 yards a season in college, which is great because, sacks count against you rushing yards. So to be positive 200 on average is definitely showing he can move when he needs to.
Honestly, he's kind of been what I thought Mateer would be this season.
Yeah, it's fair.
And kind of was until he got hurt.
Yeah, Mateer. Yeah, he getting hurt really hurt.
Mendoza is the well. First of all, great name.
I was gonna say. I just realized I was like total bias going on here.
No, but seriously though, he is like the prototype of old quarterback. Like he's a guy that in 2010 would have been a first overall pick. Like he is
the next Jared Goff kind of.
Like for real. Yeah, he is like a Jared Goff kind of guy.
More mobile.
So I like him a lot. How much does he weigh? I know he's a big dude. I know he's like 6'6".
ESPN has him at 6'5", 225.
I don't. Is he 225?
That's what they have him at.
He doesn't look that big. He looks smart.
Who knows?
I know he's super
player.
tall, but he looks super lean to me. But yeah, I think if he gains a little weight, because I don't believe that. We'll see at the combine, but I think if he gains a little weight and he's able to move around the pocket really well and navigate that way and pick his poison, especially if he ends up on a team like the Rams, break teams apart. I really like this player. I think a little bit more than even consensus has him right now as a prospect.
Well, speaking of,
Jesse,
the next pick is also a quarterback, Ty Simpson from Alabama. Really, it comes down to he's getting hype. If he ends up getting the draft capital in the top 10, lands on the Saints and the Rams, I'm going to want a piece. So at 104 in a Dynasty Superflex draft, if I'm getting a quarterback, I'm happy. It's going to depend on a lot of things. Him coming out, him getting the draft capital, actually looking good, and all of the postseason activities and all that kind of stuff. But as of right now, I have him as my second quarterback on the board.
Okay. Awesome. What do you think about Ty Simpson?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. He was my QB2 as well. The rushing upside is the exciting part for him. They give him designed runs, which is, always fun to see. And he's already over 60 attempts on the season. 6'2", 210 is what I was seeing for size. So, not the biggest, but, when you're that kind of athlete, it's not the end of the world.
I think that's exactly what Hurts is.
Yeah. She doesn't look as big as Hurts, but, that's fine too. Yeah, he's kind of came by storm this year. He was back up for 3 years. Well, redshirted one, so technically back up for 2 years. And then just came out of nowhere. And, he's on 2,800 yards, 22 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. So 22 and 2 is a really nice, ratio that you want to see. So if he continues it up, and he's likely going to be a top 10 or 15 pick in the draft, 104 is a great spot for it.
Chad, anything else to add?
Yeah. Ty Simpson is he's an interesting player because he's really accurate. He does have some ability to him. Gonna have some exciting runs. Not the biggest guy like Austin was saying. The only or the main downside to him, which is one that always gives me pause, especially with guys getting picked early in the NFL draft, is he's not great under pressure. So it's going to be something that needs to be improved. Especially pressure. Every quarterback struggles with pressure coming up the middle, but he does especially struggle with pressure coming up the middle, and maybe you can blame that a little bit on the height as well. But it'll be interesting to see if he's able to get a good landing spot, if he doesn't go really early in the draft, but ends up in that 15 to 16, 17 range. That may actually be a little bit better for him.
Yeah, for sure. One thing I wanted to bring up, he's probably the player in this class that I'm most excited to see in the playoff time, assuming they make it. Those high pressure situations against good defenses, I'd like to see how he, stacks up against that, because looking at some of the advanced numbers, he's top 10 in third down efficiency and top 20 currently in deep ball, passes over 20-yard accuracy. So, those are two things that translate really well typically. But, as Chad said, he's below 100 on pressure percentage efficiency. So that's not what you want to see. So we'll see what he does when it comes to good teams. That's, they got a gauntlet to finish the season, so that'll also be good. But, in the playoffs where that pressure's there, it'd be nice to see coming in.
One thing that I will say too is he's not a quarterback that's going to have to do a whole lot of learning when he gets to the league, as far as pre-snap and post-snap, reading of the game. He's fairly competent, and I think it comes down to Alabama. But yeah, I think he's ready. I hope he ends up in a spot that's doesn't have a terrible offensive line, because then it may get pretty ugly.
Gotcha. Looking at the rest of these picks, right? That's the last quarterback for the first round we've got currently, right? Am I wrong? I was going to ask, is there anybody that you think could move up now towards the end of the season? Or
I did want to bring up that Dante Moore, it's unfortunate. Yeah. It looks like he's going back to school. Well, maybe it's not unfortunate, but
Oregon,
for the prospects of this draft class, it would have been really nice to see Dante Moore in here.
It would have.
He would have been easily my QB1.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I really like Dante Moore, and he's the player I'm most excited to see in the college playoffs. To be honest with you, I'm going to have a lot of fun watching this.
Okay, but what about you, Chad or Austin? Anybody else that you think could move up, or that's enticing at all? Or
Lenore Sellers?
I don't think he declares either. To be honest, that's the problem. I think he transfers to Miami. I already think it's in the works.
Wow, interesting.
That being said, if he does, I'm excited, yes, because he's going to be one of those guys that if he comes out, then he's obviously getting round 1 or round 2 buzz, which means somebody at least believes in him.
Mm-hmm.
And he has an absurd ceiling. Lamar
Man,
Jackson
a Lamar situation as far as a team trading up into the first to get him, into the back end of the first would be so perfect. Oh man, it would be so perfect.
Yeah, or the Rams taking them naturally with their late first.
Yeah.
I know we want to see more of a passer in that offense, but if McVay believes in that.
I don't think he's a McVay quarterback.
Pittsburgh, I could see Pittsburgh kind of.
Yeah.
Who
knows how, if Tomlin's still going to be there, but,
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, right. He's super exciting. I think he stays one more year. From the tape we've seen this year, he should.
How up and down it was.
Needs it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts. All right.
Cool. But if he does end up in declaring for this year, then he may be, depending on landing spot, you could get him for a really, really good return as far as him being a back end first, maybe even early second.
I'd draft him everywhere.
In Dynasty rookie drafts. Yeah. Because he might not get the capital is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Okay. Chad, 105. Who do you got?
Yeah, so 105, really easy pick for me. Cardinal Tate. I think I mentioned it in the trade banger, but Cardinal Tate is easily my wide receiver too. I did not expect to like him this much, to be honest with you. He's just developed his game so quick. I don't even want to say he developed his game because he was
really good last year too.
Yeah, he was performing when the volume wasn't really there, and there was a lot of really good players in the offense. So it's one of those things where I think now he's just getting a little bit more opportunity and he's showing what he's got. But there's not a huge weakness in his game for me. I think he can survive in any kind of offense, and I think he's going to be a really high pick coming out into this the 26th class.
I love Carnell Tate. He's a different type of wide receiver than I'm used to seeing on Ohio State. Well, I guess Marvin Harrison Jr. a little bit, but God, he was a 5-star prospect, number one, bigger guy. I think he can be. I mean, he definitely needs some work on his contested catch, but I think he moves very fluidly for that bigger type of receiver. I think he could easily be T. Higgins or Drake London type of guy.
What about you, Austin?
I think he's much more of a T. Higgins than a Drake London.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, he needs to work on that contested catch. He's not the monster that Drake is that on that.
He'll play and yak. I think Drake London's a ridiculous yak receiver.
True.
I think he needs to go somewhere where he can be a T. Higgins, where they have an alpha like the Giants. I mean, that is the place that keeps coming to me, that where he'll never see the cornerback one, because in college he hasn't seen it once. He doesn't. We don't know what he looks like if he's the alpha receiver on a team.
He could just go in and eat up zone, though.
Sure, but some defenses aren't going to allow you to do that.
If you're talking about
alpha.
Straight man, then yeah, you definitely don't want him trying to beat.
I mean, we don't know that. We don't know that.
No, we don't know. That's what I'm saying.
We don't know that.
We don't know is what scares me. So I would love to see him as the 2 behind an alpha because it fits him so well. So it's just a worry that I've seen watching what little bit I have, is that he looks really good, but he's also really open a lot. And a lot of that's because of the guy across from him that we'll discuss a ton next season. Jeremiah.
I mean, I think a lot of that's, on him too. I mean, Carnell Tate is an elite prospect in my opinion. I don't think he's a wide receiver too. I think he is an alpha wide receiver. I think he's been in that role the same way T. Higgins, I think, is an alpha wide receiver. It would be great if he landed with the team with the Giants, like where he does have a Malik Neighbors or somebody like that on the other side. But I mean, every wide receiver would be great in that situation. I think he can do it by himself. The only concern that I have for Carnell Tate is really just the run after catch. Like Austin was saying, it's not part of his game. He's not a Drake London. He is going to have to be just a primary X receiver that does a lot of the dirty work, but he's also a very nuanced route runner. So I think T. Higgins comp is perfect, but I actually like him better as a prospect than I like T. Higgins as a prospect personally.
Yeah, I wasn't very high on T, so I agree with that. But I actually have the next guy as my wide receiver 2 currently.
We want to go to him. Let's get to him. And also, too, guys, if you could just say where they're playing at, too. I know a lot of these, but just in case for our listeners.
Yeah, that's Ohio State receiver.
Ohio State,
yeah. Just Ohio State. All right. Yeah, awesome. 106.
106, I'm taking Mekhi Lemon, USC wide receiver.
I was so upset when you took him.
I mean, it's like I said, he's my wide receiver 2 currently. You want to talk about a JSN replication. The dude is always open, great hands, probably low 4.4 speed. Just so much fun. Does kick return because he's the best athlete on the team. Just to me is a pure wide receiver 1 and will dominate in today's NFL with how they're using him. Ladd's another, how the Chargers used Ladd last year is a great way I could see Lemon being used in the NFL and getting instant success. Or Igbuka is another example of the way the Bucs are using him this year. So he just feels like a plug and play receiver, which is really fun, even though he's not alpha size like the prototype, 6'3", 220 kind of guy. He's more like 5'10", probably 195. But for what he does, he's great at high pointing the ball. He wins way more contested catches than he loses, which for that size isn't very common. So it's so much fun to watch. Like I said, he's my wide receiver 2, and could honestly flirt with wide receiver 1 by the time we get to the combine.
I think you guys know that this is my jam. This is my type of wide receiver.
It is.
You know, a guy that just gets open all the time. I love Mekhi Lemon. But what you just touched on is another part that just really sells me on him is just how tough he is at the catch point. Reminds me of Devontae Smith a bit, just a smaller guy that wins in those situations when you wouldn't expect. You know, it's just a very tough player. I really like him.
As a biased Panther fan, Steve Smith growing up is like that how he attacks the ball in the air is what that reminds me of. I mean, Steve Smith is probably 2 inches shorter than he is, but just the way he attacks that me ball mentality, you know, not every receiver has that, and Lemon definitely does.
Yeah, and that's the other thing that for a smaller receiver, he's still 5'10", right? So he's not tiny.
Correct. And he plays traditional X for them, which is nice. Again, you don't see that a lot. He lines up outside a ton.
So experience getting off a press.
Yep. Chad?
Okay. Chad, you got anything for Lemon?
No, I mean, I think you guys covered it. I'm maybe not as high on him as you guys are, but I think he's a solid Lockett wide receiver 3 for me. I think he is a little. I think he's going to be a little role specific. I don't think is. Where are you seeing 195? He just doesn't look 195 to me. He looks smaller.
ESPN has him at 5'11", 198. So I dropped it down some. I mean, you're probably right. It's probably 5'10", 185 to 190.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. I would have guessed like 185-ish. But yeah, really, really dynamic player. Maybe not top end athleticism, but just gets open. Just a really good football player. So I'm going to be excited to see where the landing spot is, and yeah, he's a fun player to watch.
I know Kuiper likes him a lot. I've been listening to the First Draft podcast, and they were talking about him quite a bit, kind of carrying that USC team. So awesome.
Yeah.
Is this a clear kind of tier break for you guys after this, or no? We still kind of go in tier 1.
I have one more player, but it's not the next name.
Okay. Okay.
And then, yes, it would be a clear tier break after that one more player.
Okay. I think I know who that is, but Jesse, why don't you go ahead and tell us who you're picking at the 107?
It's a tier break for me. And then at 107, I've got Justice Haynes.
Where's he from?
He's at Michigan now.
Okay.
Was Alabama, huge 5-star recruit.
Yeah, started at Alabama. Looked good at Alabama, just didn't get a huge opportunity, and then went to Michigan and has looked great. I don't know what. Actually, really, I'd like to see, because I just see him as a clear cut Dynasty first round running back. Austin, what am I not seeing? Or why do you disagree with that?
I don't think he looked that good at Alabama is part of the problem. I honestly thought he looked like one of the worst running backs on their roster at more times than not. And Michigan, like, he's looked good this year. I'm not going to deny that. He's looked better than what he did. But isn't he hurt now as well? Didn't he have foot surgery?
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think, like 3-4 days ago or something?
Yeah, I think he got hurt this past week. So that also scares me, and I think it's a similar foot injury to what Scatabo had.
Yep.
That so that timids me out, obviously, as well. But it just, for me, it's Love and then a bunch of blah guys, to be honest, in the running back room, and at least until we see how the NFL views them.
There's some guys that I like in this draft. Then not that I love, but I like some of the other guys.
Yeah, that's fair. And I think it's that kind of separation for me is in the RB class. From love to like.
That makes me that I didn't realize he was hurt. So that really makes me rethink Justice Haynes, and I'd be just as happy with it. Actually, I'd change my pick to the next guy. So Chad, why don't you talk about your pick?
Well, I want to talk about Justice Haynes a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go for it.
Yeah. So, I Justice Haynes is my third back, but I do think he's going to get a little bit more buzz. I'm not too familiar with what's going on with the injury. I know he had the surgery like 3-4 days ago or something. Or at least I read something about him getting the surgery like 3-4 days ago. But there are some interesting aspects to his game. He's one of those guys that he's just solid everywhere, right? Like there's nothing that he does that's, game breaking as far as, we're seeing with Love being able to just, break games open. But I do think there's potential 3-down backs, potential with him, or there's 3-down back potential with him. It's just going to be interesting to see where he lands and what kind of draft capital he gets. I'm nervous that the backs after Love are going to be pushed way down. Yeah. So that's my main concern. If any of these guys, I think maybe the 4 guys, if we're including the Penn State guys, but any of the 4 guys after Love, if they get draft capital, I'm more than happy taking them in the first of rookie drafts.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that's a fair way to say it.
Okay. Yeah, I can agree with that as well.
Yeah. Chad, 108, who do you got? I take it this is who Austin would have taken?
Screw I would take it.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
Kenyon
Sadiq.
Sadiq, yeah. So Kenyon Sadiq, just the only relevant tight end in the class for me is basically where it's at, and he's a really good player. I think for me, and I don't know how you feel about this, Austin. For me, he's not like the Brock Bowers, Tyler Warren kind of prospect, but he's like a notch under that. Like I think like David Njoku coming out, Evan Ingram coming out, like that level of prospect where I think he's still going to get the first round, draft capital. I see him maybe 117, 118 around that range, in the NFL draft. And so if you're in a PPR format, for me, there's a teardrop after him, and he's just a solid athletic tight end.
Compare him to like, I guess Kincaid, Laporta, those kind of guys. McBride coming out, not McBride now, but McBride coming out.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
That's about right. That's probably about in that tier. I was obsessed with Kincaid coming out, so I'm sure as I get further into Sadiq, I'm probably going to feel similar.
That's kind of how I was with McBride.
You do love your tight ends, Austin.
Yeah, man. I always have one every class that I get obsessed with, and luckily, more times than not, they at least work out to some degree. Sadiq's the way he attacks the ball is so much fun to watch. Like it's pure X wide receiver. It's just fun. Like his hands, I think they said he had like 11-inch hands.
Really?
Yeah, like
it's
some ridiculous like they had to custom make him gloves.
That's like Hakeem Nicks.
Yeah, like, and you can see it though. Like the football looks tiny in his hand. I mean, some of the catches, like if you haven't watched him, he's so much fun to watch. Somebody in the NFL is going to be really happy they draft him like that.
He's an incredible athlete, man.
Yeah. Like I think he could borderline 4 or 5 flat numbers too, which is really cool to see at the tight end position. He's not the biggest guy. He's probably going to be 6'3" if I had to guess, but he should be in the 240s, which is big enough for what we see in the NFL today. He's going to be a lot of fun, and as I mentioned during the trade banger, if he goes to the right landing spot, I mean, we're going to probably be talking about him, like I said, man, after Jeremiah Love. Like there could be, there could be an argument, if the receivers don't go where we want, the quarterbacks aren't great, like we could be flirting with talking about him as a top 3 or 4 pick.
Maybe this changes when he gets to the NFL because he's not the biggest guy like Austin was saying, but man, he is a bull in the run game, and the way he attacks it, it's so much fun to watch. He's going to be one of those guys, like if that does carry over to the NFL, which I mean there are some question marks there, but if that does carry over, he's going to be hard to take off the field, and those kind of guys to me are just so safe, especially when you're that athletic. So. I can't say enough good things about Kenyon Sadiq. I think he's going to be one of those guys, like Austin alluded to, just going to like him more and more the more you see him.
Yeah. If you haven't watched, just pull up the highlight tape from this year. Obviously, you got to go further when it comes to that. You can't call for highlights, but just watch his highlight tape this year. He's made some catches that you're like, how does anybody catch that? Yeah. Multiple of those. So he's a lot of fun.
Oh, and for Mike, Oregon.
Yeah.
I'm tracking that one. I'm tracking that one. Tracking that. I don't know where this next guy's from, though. So, Austin, 109, who you got?
109, I took Denzel Boston, wide receiver from Washington. Another big receiver, ex-receiver, 6'4", roughly 210.
Is he David Boston's son?
I don't know that. That's a good question, but At this point, for me, there's like a jumble of receivers, probably up to 6 guys that I'm interested in. And what the NFL does with them will tell me how I view them, because they're all kind of a tier below for me, those top 3. I could see Denzel Boston being pick 106 in a rookie draft, or I could see him being 206 in a rookie draft. So at this point, like I said, after Sadiq, it is a clear tier break for me, and there's no one else that I'm thrilled about currently. So he does punt return, which is exciting at that size. For a guy being 6'4", being put at punt return, it does tell you he's athletic, and he's a touchdown machine. He's already got 8 on the season, and which leads the team.
Okay. So since we're at 109, just kind of, our last show was talking about trades to make if you're a contender. So really big kind of fall off here if you're like a top 4 team for you, I guess, right now, to be more comfortable making that move to get those competitive pieces.
So I was talking to a friend of mine today, and I said, if I'm a top 3 roster currently and I have my 26 first, I'm moving it. I'm making that move these next couple weeks, and I'm getting a player I like, even if I got to pay a little bit more, just because by the time we get to April, I could regret it. Of course, it happens every draft class. But from the actual prospect side of things, I don't think we're not going to have a class like where Devonta Smith and Jalen Waddle were picked 10 through 12. Like, to me, that's not this class.
We don't have a bunch of quarterbacks to prop it up either, like in the front end.
I don't think we do.
We'll see. We'll see. There's still time for that.
You never know. Yeah.
Yeah. But I still do have 1 or 2 other players that I really, really like.
There's a number of players I really like. And are we still talking about Denzel Boston?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I really like Denzel Boston. I'm pretty sure he's credited with 0 drops on the season. I mean, the guy's hands are ridiculous. He catches everything. Big dude, huge catch radius. I'm very intrigued. I'll put it that way. Give him a high 2nd round draft capital to the right place. He's easily a late first.
He's the kind of player that's like burned me in the past. That's the only concern that I have. I'm not sure that his game is going to translate to the NFL. I got burned by Keon Coleman, and he is maybe not. I think Keon Coleman is a better player than he is. Maybe not better player, but I think more upside potential.
Keon Coleman's been dogged by professionalism issues.
But I'm just talking about as a prospect. I'm
just saying why he didn't translate.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, I wish there was more fluidity to his game. I wish there was more nuance to his game. Maybe there's time for him to develop that, but that's the one thing that scares me about him.
Yeah, there's not a lot of versatility. That's true. So if he doesn't get the draft capital into the right situation, then he could definitely fall.
Yeah. I don't feel like he separates at all besides on double moves.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
Like, aside from a double move, it is a contested catch every time. And for me, that's why
I mentioned Keon Coleman. That's why I mentioned Keon Coleman. Yeah, it's if it works, like if he makes it into an offense that uses him like an Amon-Ra St. Brown or a Rashee Rice, like slot. It could. He's a physical player, and it could be a lot of fun.
Slot. Yeah.
But that's what I hoped for Keon Coleman, and it didn't happen. So I'm just not. I'm not going to take the risk on him personally. But
Buffalo doesn't do that. They use their tight ends for that.
Yeah, Keon Coleman's literally their X, and that's all they do with him. Yeah. And if Denzel Boston ends up in that role, I just don't see it working out personally.
Yeah, that's a great point. It's another. Yeah, shoot, we've had a lot of those guys lately. Treylon Burks was another one of those guys. Just never used right.
Yeah.
And who is the guy that the Panthers?
Mingo.
Mingo was it?
Terrace Marshall.
Leggett,
another one.
Terrace Marshall.
Yeah. Mingo and Leggett are also similar players. Although Leggett, I think, has a lot more ability. He's just needs to concentrate catching the ball.
All right, Jesse, 110. What are we thinking here?
110. Yeah, I have Washington Huskies running back Jonah Coleman. He's a fun player for me, man. I would take him over Denzel Boston just because I think he's a much safer style of player where he's just like a bowling ball, like a little squat bowling ball that can actually catch. I guess bowling ball of cleavers coming at you. MJD is the play style, I would say. That would be my comp for Jonah Coleman, and I was a huge MJD fan. I think that's where his ceiling would be.
Yeah, I think CEH is a really common outcome, and I hate to be that negative on it, but I think they're similar type players.
That's the floor.
Well, I don't even think. I think that's I mean, obviously CEH had the complete negative of what we happened, but I think they're similar prospects.
Eesh. Okay. Ouch. Well, hopefully he tests
goes above that. Yeah. Hopefully he goes above that.
But yeah, I really like Jonah Coleman. I guess end of the first round. It's just going to depend. Really, with him, it's going to depend on whether he's blocked by another back where he gets drafted or not. If he has the opportunity, he's absolutely a first rounder.
That's fair. Chad?
Chad, any tiebreaker here on him?
I'm not a huge fan, to be honest, but I do think he's top 5 back in the class. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of draft capital he gets.
Okay. All right. Well, Chad, at 111, I think we're going with the last name of another host. So why don't you share that too?
Yeah, Chris Bell. Chris Bell is my favorite player in the class. I love Chris Bell. If in 3 years somebody tells me Chris Bell is the best wide receiver, has the best career thus far in the class, I'm not shocked. I really, really, really like this player. And he's, for me, a tier by himself. I have him right after that Kenyon Sadiq tier, and I think he's not too far away from it. I'm just waiting to see the draft capital, size, and speed. This guy is a really dynamic player. Get the ball in his hand, let him make it happen. He's pretty incredible. I love everything about him. The physicality, of course. Like there's a little bit of maybe a little bit of polish that has to be added to his game. But he does everything else so well. And again, the size and speed's where it's at, right? Like he's just a dynamic wide receiver. So I'm excited to see who takes him and what role he's played in. But I think he's pretty versatile if you're not expecting him to do the traditional all-around X role immediately. I think he's going to be a pretty versatile player.
Jesse?
All right.
Oh, yeah. Really like Chris Bell as well. There's not a ton of production, and he played at Louisville, so I guess that scares me a little. But if he goes to the right, well, if he gets a draft capital, I'll be interested. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that he can't. Like he's an X receiver, like he's a prototype X receiver, and I think he will develop into that. I just think he's going to need a little bit of help early on. Is my thing. But again, love the player.
A lot of teams looking for an X. That's for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of guys playing out of position at X in the NFL.
Yeah, I don't have much else to add. I just kind of he's in that tier for me for receiver. I'll let the NFL tell me what they think. He's a second round wide receiver for me. That's how pretty much all these guys are, unless the NFL tells me otherwise.
I think he's a mid first round for me. I'm going to be excited if he does go in the second round. That's going to push him down a little bit for me, but I'm anticipating somewhere between 117 to or the 17th overall pick to late 20s.
Oh, well, that will definitely adjust my value then.
And I think he's going to test really well, which is also going to help too.
Yeah.
All right. Austin, take us home with the last pick, 112.
I kind of cheated. I'm taking both Penn State running backs, and I'm going to let the NFL tell me which one they like better. I don't really know what to do with either one of them, to be honest. Nick Singleton is a freak athlete. Like, they've GPS'd him almost 24 miles an hour with the ball in his hand. But then he also doesn't look that good sometimes,
Yeah,
or
he doesn't
more
look
times
like
than not at
a
Most
times.
of the
football
time.
player.
Yeah, like I just don't know what to
I
do
think you
with
just
that.
nailed it,
And
Austin.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, eh, but he is such an athlete that if the NFL does believe in him, I'm going to be excited for it.
Yeah.
And then Katron Allen's kind of the opposite. He's not a great athlete, but I think he's a pretty good football player. So if we could combine them, I'd be really excited. But since we
But we
can't,
can't.
yeah, we can't. I really don't know how to value either one of them. I mean, both of them are. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I'm gonna let the NFL. I don't know how to feel about them.
I think the answer is neither. Singleton, I've always thought Katron was a better player than Singleton. Singleton, obviously the better athlete, but that doesn't, it just hasn't translated. And I think Katron is sort of a Gus Edwards type of guy. So, more of a third round type of running back for me. And then Singleton is not the same type of player as Marshawn Lloyd, but he's heading towards that list for me. Yeah, I've just never been a Singleton fan. I don't like his game, and I just
He was fun to watch his freshman year. I'm gonna be honest.
he's nowhere near the first round for me.
All right. Anybody else? Any thoughts on any of these guys or any?
I want to add a guy just because he's my RB2, Jadarian Price. I think he's a fantastic football player. For me, he's the second running back in the class. He just happens to be on the same team as Love, so that that is what it is. But if he's just one of those players, like I think he's a 3-down back in the NFL. I think he does everything well. Pass protects well, can be explosive, fights for contact. His yards after contact, pretty incredible. And there's times where he looks better than Love in certain situations. So it's as a pure runner. So I obviously Love is a much better player, but I think he's a starting running back all day. And I think he has the ability to be a 3-down back.
Right on. I haven't actually watched him, so thanks for the tip. I will.
Yeah, I hadn't either. That's why I didn't take him at 112.
I have a guy that I want to bring up, Mike.
Yes.
Let's talk a little Casey Concepcion.
Oh yeah, love him.
Yeah, I like this kid. What do you think?
He's so versatile. He's versatile, right? He's also a punt returner, kick returner. He's got a couple punt returns for touchdowns, but I feel like every time he is thrown the ball, there's like 3 yards between him and the defensive back defender trying to cover him, right? So we got 2 really good guys in Concepcion and Craver through the portal. So his numbers aren't insane or anything like that by any means, but smaller guy too. So I could see him going up like early second, best case scenario. But honestly, I'm hoping he comes back. But that's just me.
I think that he's taken a step forward this year and that he lacked consistency earlier in his career and has really just played a lot better this year. I'm excited to see where he goes and how he tests.
We'll see.
I like him a lot too. I watched him a lot at NC State. His freshman year, he looked really good, and then it kind of went down.
Yeah,
which is weird because
issues.
the team got better, but he got worse.
Yeah.
So seeing him transfer to a big school with big competition is nice to see. He is exciting for me. If the NFL believes in him, he'll probably shoot up towards that wide receiver 4 for me in the class 4 or 5, something like that.
Oh, I meant to mention when I took Jonah Coleman, I got double sniped.
Oh, nice. There you go.
So it was a little tough.
Nice. Austin, I guess you're the only one. Do you have any other? You had the last pick, but is there anyone?
Yeah, Chris Brazell from Tennessee. He is the son of the NFL wide receiver Chris Brazell, played for the Jets. Big dude, fast, good hands, pure X receiver again, just like a lot of these guys. Really good with the deep ball, like really good with the deep ball. So yeah, I mean, he's just somebody that I think is going to test extremely well. Probably be mid 4.4s, mid to high 4.4s, which at his size is going to be really good. He looks like a not as good Tedero McMillan. It's kind of how I see him.
One thing we know about receivers coming out of Tennessee is they don't really know how to play football. They just know how to line up and run that way. So he's probably going to be a bit raw.
Yeah, but I kind of feel like he does move well in his routes. You're right about Tennessee receivers, so it likely will burn us. But I feel like he does his half of the field well.
Nice.
Oh, Tennessee.
All right. Well, let me go ahead and recap for our listeners the first round. We'll see if I actually get their schools right too. How about that? And position. That's not even on the show sheet. So we got Jordan Tyson, wide receiver, Arizona State.
Yes, sir.
Right. All right.
Nice.
And we got Jeremiah Love, running back, Notre Dame. Everyone should know him by now. 102, 103, Fernando Mendoza, the quarterback at Indiana. 104, Ty Simpson, quarterback, Alabama. 105, Carnell Tate, who is Ohio State wide receiver.
Nice.
106, Mekhi Lemon, USC wide receiver. 107, Justice Haynes, Michigan, but got hurt recently, running back, so maybe push him down a little bit there. 108, Kenyon Sadiq, tight end,
Oregon.
University of Oregon. Yep,
There you go.
109, Denzel.
Thought you need help on that one.
No, Denzel Boston. I got that one. I actually knew him before.
Okay.
All right. I mean, he's the only tight end, so it makes it easy. Kuiper talks a lot about him too. So, Denzel Boston, wide receiver, Washington. Jonah Coleman, running back, Washington. Chris Bell, wide receiver, Louisville. And then two Penn State running backs, Nick Singleton and Katron Allen.
Nice.
There we go.
Look at you.
Good job, Mike.
We
You're
did
ready
it.
to go, man.
I didn't even write it down. I didn't even have it on tabs. You didn't even see me use my hands.
Yeah.
I have my hands up here. All right. I did have two in a tab, but I didn't have it open, so I had to double check before I started all that. All right, so that's the end of our first rookie mock.
So there, real quick,
Oh,
I think we should call Casey Concepcion. I think his name is Kevin. We should call him Kevin because there's like a pop singer that's Casey Concepcion, and we don't want to confuse the two.
is pop singer from like the 60s, or
I don't know.
what are we talking? I don't know.
Yeah.
I've
Is this
never
from the
heard
world
of
of
that.
black and white, Jesse?
Yeah.
Every time I Google him, this pop singer comes up. So I just assumed
man.
Mike would know who she was.
I have no idea. Come on, I'm not that big of a pop person.
It's probably like
Swiftie.
K-pop or something.
Yeah, K-pop. There you go. There you go.
It's probably what it is.
But that's your favorite.
Yeah.
If
Just
they're
the
not
demon-
hunting,
If they're not
if they're not
hunting
hunting
demons, I'm not
demons,
interested
yeah.
in K-pop.
Okay,
So.
right on.
So, which, by the way, now that we're going into the overtime, I was really sad because one of my daughters wanted a K-pop Demon Hunter doll set, and everything is like knockoff, made in very far away countries, looks awful. So I was like, how has like Barbie not made anything yet? So I like Googled it. They had a drop. It's like Pokemon cards, y'all. It's sold. It's sold out. It's $150 for all three of these dolls made by Mattel, and it's sold out in less than 10 minutes. It's like a straight
You
up
can thank Pokemon. Every collectible right now is just
right
ridiculous.
now. I know. I was like, this is it. It really pissed me off. Like I get pissed off about Pokemon cards, but that affects me. It affects my kids. Well, I guess Pokemon cards does too. But anyway, it really pissed me off. So overtime, guys. What have you watched, or what are you gonna watch?
I'm watching Stranger Things. I'm finishing season 4 and getting ready for the season 5 premiere,
coming,
which is
Austin.
coming next Wednesday. Which
Yeah,
by the time this comes out, it'll be ready to go.
I'm in season 3 with my son. He loves it. Yeah, we'll
Nice.
hopefully make it. So he's got all of next week off and tomorrow. So I'm like, man, you might just have him watch some.
Yeah, you can burn through a whole season in a day.
Yeah,
I did my absolute best to convince my wife to watch it with me today, and it would be a rewatch for me. I watched it. I've watched it twice. I love that show. She told me there's no point to it. That was her
There's
answer.
no point to it.
She
Oh
said
my
there is no
gosh.
point to the show.
Oh my god!
with the
Oh,
upside
man.
down world, and yeah, she was really,
What a-
really.
What does
Did
she
you
mean by there's
send
no
in the
point
paperwork?
to it?
I don't know, and when she says things like that, I walk away
There's
because you
sent the
can't argue
paperwork
with
too,
things.
right?
You can't, how do you argue with a statement like that? I pick my battles, and that just wasn't going to be one of them.
no,
That's
I would have
fair.
locked in.
That's a good
I would
point.
have stood on business for Stranger Things.
Yeah.
No, because I got her to watch my show that I was gonna bring up is Chad Powers. So I got her to agree. I got her to
Finally.
watch the first two, and she does not like it.
Yeah, that's
But-
why
I
she
mean-
don't watch Stranger
I mean,
Things.
he's a dude,
because you
so-
do that.
She watched the first season of Stranger Things, and she doesn't like it.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, I cut you off. Austin, did you have anything more to say about it?
No, I was gonna ask you if you sent her the divorce paperwork for her saying that about Stranger Things,
Little
because that
secret,
seems kind of crazy.
little secret. We call each other husband and wife, but we're merely shacked up. There's no paperwork.
Oh, then
Yeah.
you'd be like, I will never marry you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
way better threat.
there you go.
Doesn't even cause any paperwork.
But yeah, Chad Powers. So we watched it, and then like she's like, "This is stupid. That would never happen. It looks fake." Blah blah. And so I realized she was taking it seriously. She was taking it as a serious show.
What?
And so I had to explain to
It's
her
literally
that she's
based what it's based off of. Did you explain
yeah,
that? to her?
that's-
Okay.
yes. She said, "Why do you like it?" I said, "Well, it's fun. It's stupid and it's fun. And if you
Yeah.
take it for what it's worth and what it came from is an Eli Manning sketch, then no, he does. It's not. You can't take it seriously. No, it doesn't look real. But it's fun as with the low look pass, and it's just I like him as an actor. He's a fun actor. So it's
I
a
had
good
a
show.
buddy who I tried to get to watch Ted Lasso, and he watched like 4 episodes, and he was like, "This would never happen." And I was like, "Well, yeah,
No kidding.
I mean, you
Yeah,
like
that would be
Star
the point.
Wars? That would never happen."
I don't know. We get
Yeah.
enough nerds in the future; they'll make it happen.
That is one of the worst arguments against any show or movie is
Yeah.
that it wouldn't happen.
My dad's like
there's-
that for everything.
There's a term. It's called suspension
Fiction?
of disbelief.
Yeah.
If you can't suspend disbelief to watch a show or movie, then you really shouldn't be watching it.
Yeah,
You should be out watching real life.
I
Just go to the mall and watch people walk around.
every time somebody says that, I'm just like the child version of you is very disappointed in you right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, right. No imagination.
I bet you can't even see Santa Claus anymore.
I've also been watching G.I. Joe from the 80s, so some Gen X nostalgia. Guys, the closest thing I can compare it to is if you've ever watched the old X-Men cartoons.
Oh yeah.
It's that level of good. There were actually I don't know, like something like 60 or 70 episodes a season. It was insane. There was a new episode on every single day when we came home from school. So, and there's some of them are like 4 or 5 parters where they like build crazy like a mass device, and there's actually some really good episodes.
A math
It's not-
device?
mass device.
Oh, I was
It's
they
not
built a calculator? That doesn't sound interesting at all.
Back then, that would have been something crazy.
Yeah, that was
the Serpentor
watch.
arc. They collect DNA from former great leaders from around the world that have been dead and create this great leader to lead Cobra. His name is Serpentor. It's really cool. So I suggest it. Any Gen X guys out there listening to me already know what I'm talking about and love it already. But
Was this
for
on
you
radio?
millennials, what's that?
Was this on radio? Like this?
Yeah.
This wasn't TV, right?
No, this was the original cartoon that is a commercial to sell a
Oh.
toy. So
It came on after like
if there was no
Better Get
G.I.
Your
Joe
Ovaltine.
and no Transformers, there would be no Pokemon.
Imagine little Jesse sitting in front of his 6-inch TV drinking Ovaltine,
Yeah,
watching G.I. Joe
And Tang.
black
and
white.
crossword.
Yeah, and Tang.
High C juice boxes, dude. Capri Sun.
Now, y'all had Capri Sun.
Yes,
Ain't
it was
no
invented when
way.
I was a
No.
child.
No
It absolutely
Just
was.
powder form. Yeah.
Yeah.
I am the
No way it was
original
in a
Capri
bag.
Sun child.
You had it in your 30s.
Yeah,
Yeah. Hey, for me, since we're getting into the holiday season, I thought I'd bring up it's probably my favorite this is probably a bold statement. One of my favorite holiday animated movies. It's called Klaus. Have you guys watched it on Netflix?
Oh yeah, I saw
No.
it. Yeah.
Is it Tim Allen?
No.
No, that's
No,
the
no,
Santa
no.
Claus.
No, this one is like an animated thing.
It's
But
animated.
Yeah, I saw it. I don't remember it very well, but I remember my kid watching it.
It is really, it's really good. It's good for adults. It's good for kids. Like, I absolutely love it. So, yeah. So I'm going to say watch Klaus if you've never seen it.
Cool. I've been listening to a podcast, or I listened to a podcast. I just finished it today, called West Cork. And it's really, really, really good. It's about a murder that happened in 1996, of a French film producer, named Sophie Toussaint du Plantier, I believe her name is. But yeah, she was like murdered in Ireland, in West Cork, and unsolved. They hang around the suspected murderer and talk to him. He's like in a lot of the podcasts and talk to the people around and go through the whole process. And anyways, phenomenal podcast. If you haven't checked it out and that's kind of your thing, do it. Because
what's the name of it?
West Cork.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. It's one of the best podcasts in this genre I've heard since the original Serial podcast.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm in. I've been looking for a good podcast. Besides Dynasty Front Office.
Yeah, of course.
We just 2 hours a week isn't enough to fill my needs.
All right.
Anything else?
If that's it, this
sorry,
has been
Mike.
yeah, geez, come on, Jesse. This has been the Front Office.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Peace.
welcome to the front office. The lights are low, the boards are lit, and the dynasty clock is ticking. From the heart of the startup draft to the championship throne, one crew rules the long game. Give it up for the undisputed architects of empire.